Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We are going to go over what should be on your tabletop. If there's something that is missing, please make sure to get up and get it. All right, first of all, I would like to start by announcing Monday, do not come here. I will not be in this room on Monday. Monday, you go straight to the library, the research center upstairs with Ms. Brabston. We will be going over some projects that we have, some major projects we have this semester. They're nail projects, okay? One of them being the second project. One is a wedding project, wedding nails. Then we have our Day of the Dead nails, and then we have our, I forgot, nails and something else. There's like 3 or 4 projects, okay? So Ms. Brabston is going to show you where to find all of the resources to get the inspiration images to create your nail designs. This particular project, as you saw probably last year, them laying around here in the classroom, is Day of the Dead themed. You're going to get one of these rose palettes with 12 nails. You're going to design, draw, color on paper, and then create them on the nail swatches, and then turn them in. They're going to be displayed on the altar, etc., etc. If you do not, bless you, celebrate this festivity thing, then that's okay, no worries. Your theme will be floral, okay? So a lot of the techniques that we will be learning from here to then can be used for this. Okay, more details later, but Monday, go to the library upstairs with Miss Brabston. Not here. I will not be here. All right, today and tomorrow we're going to be working on your transfers. It is the most coolest way to cheat when you don't know how to draw. You just have to have a steady hand. So remember, drink plenty of water, eat your breakfast so that your muscles are good and your hand doesn't shake. All right, so for your table setup, you should have your mats. Always work on your mat so you don't get your tables dirty. You have a napkin, okay? Always, no matter what. I always forget to put napkins out, but you always need a napkin when you do nails. Like, that is the number one thing you need, a napkin, okay? You're going to need your alcohol. You're going to need your lights. Bless you, with your batteries. Your damping dish, your palette. You're going to need your 5 floral brushes. They're thin. They each have a different bristle count and they're different lengths. You're going to need your 2 clear thin brushes that you cut and made your striping brushes. The one that you crimped and the other one that is not crimped. You need your dotting tool, the dotting tools with the wooden handle, put them all together, and the one with the smallest dot is the one that you need. You need your pipette. Again, like I said, after a while the label comes off with Sharpie on plastic things. So always have your Sharpie so that you can go ahead and label. Everything should be labeled with your name on it. Everything except your actual kit box. As you pull things out, as we do things, if things are not labeled, label them. And then just please put the Sharpie back. Okay. You should have your practice sheet, the one with the little faces. You also should have your stiletto nail tips. I do suggest you just take one out. We're not using all of them today. You can take one out of the ring. We'll be just fine. Okay. If you don't have the stiletto one and you have the Scorval one, that works fine as well. All right. And then you have your product. So you have black and white gel polish, and then you have black and white regular nail polish. You bought that over the summer. That should go in your kit. If you haven't purchased it, make sure you have it. Okay, we use it a lot. Okay. If you don't have today we're going to use the black gel. If you don't have black gel, it's okay. Use your black paint. If you don't have your black gel, use your black paint. But if you have black gel, I'm gonna demo with the paint so you can see that it can be done. But if you have the gel, use your gel. Don't use the black paint, because trust me, it's a lot easier to work with the gel because it doesn't dry. Anyway, just use it. And then, yeah. And then you need either a top or base coat. It doesn't matter. They both will work. Of clear gel that I have provided for you, and they're in that purple basket back there. Grab you a bottle. Doesn't matter what brand. It doesn't matter what color of the bottle. They're all clear. They're either top coat or base coat. Either one will work for what we needed for today. Doesn't matter. Okay. So if you need one of those, grab one of those. When you're done with it, please put that back. Now I will say that those gels have been used all of last school year, and some of them probably need to go tossed in the trash, okay? Because it's contaminated, meaning that there's glitter in there. It's been exposed to a lot of the air, etc., etc. They're not brand new, so just when you open it and something's wrong with it, just go get another one, okay? All right. So questions? Does everybody have everything that you need? Fabulous. That only took 20 minutes. Okay, we're gonna go super fast. With time, you'll get used to your setup. It's just if you package it like the video, you know these are my working brushes, these are my specialty brushes, these are my tools, so it just helps out. Okay. Questions? Please make sure that your sheet is in a sheet protector. If it is not in a sheet protector and you need a sheet protector, just some in the reception area. All right, let's get started. With your, I call them nail sticks. I know they're swatches. I just call them a nail stick. With these, go ahead and take one out. It's good to keep them in the ring because they're loose in your kit and you already have too much in there. That's small and loose and all over the place. Use it and then put it back in there. And then put them in a Ziploc baggie with the tips going downward. You don't have to seal it, just it keeps it together because your swatch will open up sideways this way, right? And then they kind of go all over and there's too much going on in your kit to have that. So just keep it together in a baggie and it works better for you. These were a little bit more expensive, I'm not gonna lie. But you guys always take the short Squirrel and shape them into stilettos. So I said, you know what, let's just put these in the kit. So they were just a little bit more pricey. Use them wisely and don't waste them. And you can reuse them, okay? All right, so we're going to be using, if we have time, if we get to it, we'll be applying the transfer here. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with getting our pipette and we're going to open up our container. We're going to squeeze out some alcohol and close our container. Now I want to tell you, remind you, okay, this is 70% alcohol from last year. Probably it's been there 2 years in the closet. 1, it's not fresh, so it might not work as well. 2, most importantly, it is not 100% alcohol, y'all. You need 90 to 100% alcohol for this to work right. So do you remember in elementary when your teacher took you down to the breakfast area and you guys had waffles or pancakes and your hands were sticky and you came back and she gave you hand sanitizer and you wiped your hands with sanitizer and then the sticky went away? It's because the alcohol makes the sticky go away, okay? So, same concept. We use alcohol when we use gels to take the sticky inhibition layer off. Now, you guys typically don't use gels until November, but we're changing it up this year. Yay, hooray. But you don't get the theory until later, so I'm just going to throw some important points out, okay? Don't forget these things and we'll go back over them later. Gel. Gel comes in a variety of polish containers, as you know, okay? Gel polish is different than nail polish. Okay? Nail polish, as a lacquer, as you apply it, it will begin to dry. Okay? When it dries with the air, it hardens and you can touch it and your client can leave and you're fine. Gel, you apply gel, it does not dry. You can leave it there for 10 days and it will not dry. It'll seep to the corners and it'll puddle, but it will not harden, it will not dry. Gel, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but gel, the molecules need to link together, fuse together, if you will, to harden so that they dry, quote unquote. Okay? Without the light, the gel doesn't work. You have to have gel. Now, be careful. When you go to the dollar store, like Family or Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, sorry. So anyway, some polishes will say gel, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy this in every color because it's gel polish, and then, yeah, no. How do you know it's real gel or it's a gimmick and they're trying to get you to buy it because you think it's gel? No, it's just their thing. It goes on smooth like gel, but it's not really gel. How can you tell? The bottle. These are all real gel bottles, real gel polishes. This is not, although it says gel. How do I know? Because of the clear bottle on this one. So I know it's black and you can't see, but it's a clear bottle. It's transparent. When the light hits it at any way, source, way, shape, direction, whatever, the gel molecules will catch the light and they will fuse together and they will harden inside the bottle. So manufacturers had to put them in containers where the container is not see-through. So when you go to the store and this says gel and it's really, really cheap, that's another indication because gel's not very cheap, or as cheap as nail polish. You look at it and you're like, oh, that's not gel, that's a transparent bottle. Okay, it's regular nail polish, regular lacquer. Okay, so look at your bottles. If you have the gel, the real gel, whatever shape, she has pink ones, whatever shape, color, size, whatever, it should be non-transparent. The bottle should be non-transparent. Okay? Okay. When, and I'm going to turn the light off for this, when the gel, the molecules see the light, when the light hits it, they fuse, they link together, and they harden, and then it quote-unquote dries. I'm going to turn my light off. I know there's a light source over here, so it's going to be a little difficult, but work with me here. Let's say that I have my nail, and I polished it with my gel. If I take my light and I do this, my light, although I'm flashing it here, okay, I can see the light on this cup over here. I can see it on my napkin. I can see it here. See the reflection? I can see it if I shake it. I can see it on Larissa's. She's right in front of me. A little bit far away, but I can see it on the name tag, on the tape. I can see it on the white. It's reflecting the light. I can see it on your glasses, and you're over there, and I can see it maybe not as far as Kendall. I can see it. It's touching. The light is touching, right? So if I have gel on my brushes and my brushes are here and I have my light on, if there's gel on my brush, those molecules are going to fuse together and harden on my brush. So I just ruined my brush. Does that make sense? If I have my bottle, my gel bottle, and it's capped, meaning that I didn't seal it by twisting the bottle, I just put my cap on the bottle, and the gel is exposed, if the light in any way, shape, or form hits that, the molecules will fuse and it will harden, and I just ruined my bottle. My brand new $30 bottle of gel. Okay? So if and when you are using the light, the bad thing about this one, the little flashlight shape, now don't call it a flashlight, I'm saying it's a flashlight shape, it's handheld. The bad thing about this one is that you don't have control, it doesn't have a hood like the other machines, right? The other machines, you just face it the other direction, you're fine. This one, we have to make a little hood. So we make a little hut, a little house, a little cave, okay? one, you don't look at it, it is UV, right? That's like going into a tanning bed and your eyeballs are all open. They have to wear the little goggles for safety, so don't. Two, okay, you have to go like this, and it still is reflecting off of my paper onto my face. You can see it, right? So if I sit there and stare at it, they're reflecting off of here, coming into my eyeballs. So you gotta be careful. Okay. So make the little hood here. You have to make sure that your brushes on a napkin, you put your brushes and tools in the napkin. You fold it over to protect your brushes. Always when you're using gel. A lot of artists will just put them under their mat. That works too. There's different things to it. I'll tell you as we go because the gel is sticky and da-da-da. But anyway, just hide the brush, okay? So it's super important. Now, I could be doing my thing, right? And let's say Larissa's my partner. She's sitting right next to me. She's polishing, and I have my light out. If my light touches her gel when she's polishing, I ruin her stuff, even though we're not even on the same page, right? Person in front of me, person behind me, etc. So a lot of times what we do is if we don't cup it here, we always bring it down here, and we go under the table because it's easier, it's better. So just FYI, okay? All right. Your light. This does swivel up and down a lot, so if you don't like it, you can take it off. It's up to you. It's just for a grip. Make sure you turn it off. This is pretty much all I need to tell you about that. Questions? Okay, let's get started. So, we are going to take our gel. Now, we've got to remember when we did our 3-layer technique, okay, still got to remember how we work our polishes. So, we're going to take our bottle, open it up. This is the stem of the bottle. You're going to swirl the stem against the inside wall of the neck of the bottle to get rid of any product. So, you're using your clear gel. Use the clear gel. Swirling my stem to get rid of product, and then I'm going to wipe the belly of the brush on one side, on the inside corner of the neck of the bottle. So I have no product on the bottom and I have product on the top. What I'm going to do, we're going to do this little face right here, not so happy face. I'm going to apply clear gel, a thin coat of clear gel, on over my little not so happy face. It's plastic, so it's going to be a little bit hard to adhere, and it might kind of group together, so make sure you are going outside of the circle. I'm really going over it too many times, but you're going to put a thin layer of gel over your little face. Now, make sure, remember, just like we took care of our paints, if you got product on here, you're going to take your napkin and you're going to swirl like this. Make sure there's no gel on that rim, top, or outer neck of that bottle. Because then when you close it, it gets all in here, and over time it's a hot mess. The light hits it, forget it. So close it, seal it, okay? And then what we're going to do, making sure that your polishes are pushed to the side, you've closed it, your neighbors closed theirs, we're good. We're going to take our light and we're going to make a little hut, a little cave. We're going to do what we call flash cure. Flash curing means that you want the molecules to kind of hold hands, like maybe hold pinkies, but they're not fully stuck together. Okay, so I just don't want them to move. I want them to sit still. So I'm going to flash cure it for 5 to 10 seconds. Okay, it's not fully cured. The cake is together, but it's not fully cooked. It's still mushy on the inside. Okay, 5 to 10 seconds, that's all it takes. All right, so let me tell you about the sticky inhibition layer I mentioned earlier. With gel, let's say this is maybe old they're both new technological. Let's just pretend. This is old technology. This is new technology. So back in the day, before scientists, you know, the manufacturers that make all this product stuff, before they knew, gel, once you cure it, ends up with a sticky inhibition layer, meaning that when you take the light away and you touch it, it's sticky. Which is why we use alcohol to get rid of the sticky inhibition layer. Okay, super important. All right, so old technology, nail polishes that we have here, you may still buy and they still make, they might have the sticky inhibition layer. New technology, and right here it says base no cleanse on the sticker. It's maybe a little bit more expensive, or you know, whatever, it's just a new product. New technology, it doesn't have the sticky inhibition layer, so you don't have to go back with alcohol and wipe off the sticky inhibition layer. When you're done curing it with your light and you touch it and it's sticky, you need alcohol to wipe it off. Not that you need, oh, it's still wet, I need to go do it again. No, it just needs to wipe off. If you touch it and you're like, oh, it's not sticky, it's because it's new technology. It's a new kind of polishes that don't have the sticky layer. Okay, the ones that I pull out from our stash here in the classroom, I don't know what's what, when I bought what, so just touch it and see what, or read in the bottle. Okay, all right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to begin our transfer. A transfer means that I'm creating it off of the nail and I'm transferring it to my client's finger, my nail tip. Okay, all right, so have your napkin. Now it's going to take you a minute to kind of organize yourself. I have to stay out of the camera a little bit, so it's harder for me to really get in there and get a good shape, because I've got to be able to have it on the camera, but I can't hover over it and my chair's a little bit low. It's super important your body position so that you can draw good, right? It's hard to write if your paper pencil's up here, but if you have down here, then it's good. So always just keep that in mind, especially when you're painting. All right, make sure you've drank all your water and eaten your breakfast, so that way your muscles and body is good and you don't shake and have the shakes in the morning, or sometimes you can have them throughout the day. Because this is very, very fine art detail work, okay? Remember, don't grip the brushes, let them lay in your hand, let your hand just flow. This is where that coloring book, that coloring journal, that's all of that, that's when this comes in. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at our floral brushes. Let's take a look at the difference. Now, these two clear brushes you made. You didn't go buy a $35 striper or liner brush. You made it out of a 50 cent brush. Okay? Okay, you can use those. Then you have the floral brushes. They are all of different bristle counts, meaning they have a different number of bristles in them. It's very minute. The difference is very minute. And then if you line them up just perfectly, the metal part at the tip, they're all different lengths. Get the one that is the shortest. The one that is the shortest. Now, what's the difference between I'm going to use my yellow one because it's easier to see. What's the difference between my short brush and my long brush? With shorter bristles, you have more control. With longer bristles, when you curve your brush, those bristles just flare. They have their mind of their own. So if you want more control, use a shorter brush. If you don't mind the lack of control and you can control the brush, then you can use a longer bristle. Okay? Today we're going to use this short bristle. But all these thin, short brushes, long brushes, are for this kind of artwork. Okay? Alright, so dotting tool. You can also use your dotting tool. So we'll start with that. If you have your gel, use your gel. If you have your paint, use your paint. If you rather use your paint for this, that's fine. So what we're going to do with the smallest dotting, smallest bead on the dotting tool. Do you remember when I taught you henna? I taught you the line of diminishing ascend or descend or ascend. Okay. So here we go. you're gonna dip in. Now you have to, it's hard because it's the camera. You have to hold it perpendicular to the table or to the surface. It's gotta go straight up and straight down. It cannot be tilted at any angle, okay? To make eyeballs done correctly, your tool has to be upright. So here we go. We're gonna make a line of diminishing dots. So we're gonna dip our dotting tool slightly into our paint, and straight up we're gonna go drop, 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 drop off, dot, 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 until I dot no more. It is a line of diminishing dots. I picked a product one time, and I'm dropping off as I go, and as I continue to drop, I have less product each time. Imagine if your feet are wet and you're walking, your first footsteps are going to be wet, and then little by little they start to disappear because there's no more water on your feet. It's the same concept. Okay? Now, if I were to do that technique when I'm making a little face with two little eyeballs, one eye is going to be larger and the other eye is going to be smaller. That's not, unless if that's what you're going for, that's not how you do it. So you got to be a pick up, drop off. So you're going to pick up a little bit of product. Now when I say pick up, I don't mean like jam your tool in there. Like you're literally just putting half of the bead of the ball in there. It's tiny. So just dip it in there a little bit. Put your brush perpendicular and drop off. Now go pick up again and then drop off. Pick up, drop off. Pick up, drop off. Pick up, drop off. Do you see how your dots are all the same size? Now, if your dots are not the same size, it's because you dipped your tool deeper or didn't dip it as much into your product and you didn't pick up the same amount of product. So, your dotting tool is a stick, and on the stick it has a ball. So between the stick and the ball, I mean, it's tiny, y'all. You can see it on the bigger one. There's an L shape. And so when you wipe off your tool, you really got to get in there and clean that little corner edge between the stick and the ball, that L-shaped corner, because if not, it'll get gross in there. It'll get stuck in there. So really, really get your nail in there and really clean that inside corner between the ball and the stick. It makes a little V-shaped divot. Okay, so you see the difference between the two? Okay, if you're making a little ghost, let's say. Bad eyeballs, good eyeballs. Okay? Alright, cool. So, because we have two little eyeball dots here on our little face, we're going to pick up, drop off, pick up, drop off. So, very carefully dip your brush, dip your tool into your product, and then drop off over the eyeball, pick up, drop off over the eyeball. And again, it has to be perpendicular. So we're doing this little, it's 2 dots, 3 horizontal lines, and a circle. Okay, basic shape. Wipe your tool, wipe your dotting tool. You can also dip your dotting tool in your alcohol and then wipe it off as well to make sure you get all the paint off. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do now, if you have gel, again, you can use your gel. It's a lot easier, okay? Because the paint dries, the gel doesn't dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our small thin brush and we're going to dip it into our paint. Not all the way. I don't want my metal to get dirty. You're literally just dipping your toe in the pool, okay? And I'm going to drop off right here on my palette because it's too much paint. And I'm going to swing down. And when I swing down, I can see what kind of line I'm going to be getting. Am I getting a thick line because I have too much product? I'm going to get rid of some of that by making little spider legs. And I'm getting rid of the thickness. And now I have a thinner line. So, this is hard for me because it's a little further from my body and I've got to deal with the camera. But go ahead and outline over the top of the mouth. and then outline over the top of the eyebrows. It's 3 horizontal lines. Okay, and then what you want to do is maybe you want to reload your brush. And you're going to outline the circle. Now, remember, when we make circles, like when I taught you how to do henna, we don't have time for the circle. Forget the circle. Okay, if you have gel polish, close your bottles. You're going to wave over a little bit, let that paint dry. If you use gel, you need to flash cure it a little bit so that your black gel will dry. If you use gel for the black. If you use paint for the black, it just run your hand over it and it was gonna dry. Take your clear polish, swirl the stem, wipe the belly, and put a thin layer of gel over the top of your design. After you put a thin layer of gel over the top of your design, you're going to go ahead and put your light over it, and you're going to cure it. Should be for 60 seconds, but we'll do it for 30 just because we're pressed for time. I'm telling you, this class goes crazy fast. So the best cotton clock to have is that one, because you can see where the second hand is, and you can see if it's been 30 seconds without you having to like put your stopwatch on or your timer or your phone. You can actually see where the 30-second mark is. Okay. If you have the sticky inhibition layer, you got to use alcohol to wipe off the sticky inhibition layer. If you don't have the sticky inhibition layer, then you don't have to wipe off. If you got to wipe off, what you do is you go ahead and take your napkin and dip it in your alcohol, or go ahead and pump some alcohol. You're going to wipe the surface of your design, and then you're going to peel off. Now usually we would be peeling off with scissors or tweezer, but here's my little smiley face without the head. And then I pick it up with my tweezers and I would transfer it onto my nail like so. Where did it go? I lost my little face. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay, and so that is the best way to cheat whenever you don't know how to draw and you have your little face. You can stick it on. There's a certain way to put it on, but that's for tomorrow's lesson. Today was just how to set up the theory part of it, and then how to begin your transfer drawing. Okay. Tomorrow we will continue. If you can, save your little face, great. If not, no worries. You don't have to save it. You're welcome to go ahead and start cleaning up. Move fast. We shall continue tomorrow.